All right, so for this one, you have, it's asking you what fraction is represented by the shaded area. So we have 1 shaded out of 3 total. So this should be 1/3. Okay, and then they want us to use these buttons to add horizontal lines to make sure we've created 2 different images. Okay, so we're creating equivalent fractions here, right? So we could add, that's the same as 2 out of 6 pieces, right? 1 out of 3 is the same as 2 out of 6. And then you could do 2 more. So 3 out of now 9 pieces should be equivalent. So 1/3 is equal to 2 out of 6. It's also equal to 3 out of 9. Sweet. So hopefully those make sense. Let's go to scale factor. Okay, scale factor. We have these 2 different rectangles here, and we want to determine what is the proportion basically of these 2. So basically, if these 2 are similar, which they're telling us they are, that means that their sides are proportional. So all we have to do is to determine how do we get from this first one. Notice it doesn't have prime. So this is what's happened. So this is getting bigger. So we're starting with the original is non-prime here. So to go from 21 to 115.5, we need to multiply by what? So I'm going to take 115.5 and divide by 21 to see what I would have to multiply 21 by to get myself to 115.5. So that's going to be 5.5. So if I multiply 21 by 5.5, that should get me to my larger side of that rectangle. So that's how scale factor is going to work. Let's see if the next one is similar. Okay, so again, now we're starting with this smaller figure. So now we're going from 21 to 168. So we're gonna have to multiply by some number to get us there. So to find out what that number is, I'm gonna take 168 and divide by 21, and we find out that that must be 8. So 21 times 8 gets us 168. All right, let's go back to the next section. Scale factor. Okay, so again, this is asking us to determine what would I multiply this first triangle by to make it the same size as my next triangle. So to multiply scaled, okay, make sure we do right and left. Okay, so on the right is a copy of the one on the left, identify the scale factor. Okay, so to get us from 15 to 30, what would we have to multiply all the sides by? 2. 15 times 2 is 30. So yeah, see, 15 times what would equal 30? Okay, let's do another one, make sure we're same. All right, so now we have 7 times something equals 21.2. So what you want to do is set it up as an actual algebraic expression. So you would say 7 times some number, 7x, say 7x equals 21 over 2. 21 over 2. So then what would we have to do? We'd have to divide by 7 on both sides. So basically what we're going to do is take 21 and divide by 2, and then we're going to divide that by 7. So 21 over 2 and then divide by 7. They want it as a fraction though. So the easier way to do this division means invert and multiply. So we're going to take 21 over 2 and multiply by 1 over 7. So what we get is 21 over 14. And then we would ask ourselves, all right, what can 21 and 14 both be divided by? 21 and 14 are both divisible by 7, and we would get 3 over 2. So if we multiply 7 by 3 over 2, we should get to 21 over 2, which you can check that we will. So 3 over 2 would get us to 21 over 2. All right, let's go to the next section. Okay, level up. All right, so Same exact idea. So we want to know what would we do to get from 7 to 12. So again, I'm going to say 7 times some number x is going to equal 12. Well, to get x by itself, I would divide by 7 on both sides. So we're going to end up with 12 over 7. And they said to leave it as a fraction, I believe. So let's see, we're going to say, what did we say? 12 over 7. All right, let's see if they get any harder on this one. Okay, so now we're getting smaller. 60 times some number is going to equal 42. So 60 times x equals 42. Then we divide by 60 on both sides. So you'd get 42 over 60. Then you want to see what both 42 and 60 are divisible by. Immediately I think of 2. So that'd be 21 over 30. And then I notice both 21 and 30 are divisible by 3. That would give me 7 over 10, and that is as simple as that gets. So if I multiply 60 by 7 over 10, that should get me to 42. All right, let's go last but not least, equivalent fractions. Okay, the square below represents a unit or a whole. What fraction is represented by the shaded area? Okay, so we have 10 out of a 10 by 9. So this is 10 high and 9 wide. So we have a 10 by 9, so we have 90 total pieces, and we have 10 of them. So what fraction represents this? Well, that would be 10 out of 90, or 1 out of 9. But I don't know if they want us to do this in simple form or not. Let's try 10 out of, let's start with 10 out of 90 to represent the actual shaded region. Okay, and now they want us to simplify based on how they redrew this for us. So you notice they redrew it, and now we have 1 whole bar out of 9 possible bars, which is what we said if we had simplified by dividing both 10 and 90 by 10. So we get 1 out of 9 is the equivalent fraction. Let's do another one of those. Okay, so again, now we have an 8 by 10. So we have 80 total pieces, and we have 3 by 10 of them shaded. So we have 30 out of 80 total. And then they're going to redo it for us. Ooh, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of how many total were there now? This was an 8 by 2, so we had 6 out of 16. Now, if I were to divide this first, I would have divided by 10, and then that would get me down to 3 over 8, but that's not what they're showing us here, so make sure you're representing what the image is showing you, which is showing us that we could have 6 out of 16 total. All right, hopefully that helps. Have a wonderful weekend.